Hey guys, and welcome to a showdown, and oh no, I have decided to betray my Lizardmen kind. For Poland shall be leading the forces of the Dinos, but myself, under the guise of Melon Lord, shall be bringing the Knights of Calador. Not a bad sub-faction to defect to, I suppose. And of course, we shall be bringing Imrik. So how am I going to try to take down the Lizardmen? We'll have to wait and see. So for my front lines, we have a mixture of spearmen as well as rangers dotted all the way around. Spearmen predominantly on the flanks, rangers more in a central location where they can pressurize the enemy a little while longer. In the central pocket, we do have triple archers. Now, archers don't have the greatest stats in the universe, but pretty decent range. A consistent fire combined with a Plague of Rust caster can certainly do some decent work. And my god, the colour scheme of Imrik's troops really does make them look even more regal and badass, particularly on the White Lions, which we have one unit of in the central here. In the back, we do have a unit of Spearmen protecting an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, as well as a Mage of High Magic coming in with the Simple Tempest. That's all she's going to be bringing, and that's because I actually have two casters. That's simply to try and stop Pterodon Riders up in the skies, those pesky little beasties. Speaking of the skies, we do have a Flying Duck up here, a Great Eagle. We really do need to rename this guy. I believe Divana did actually kind of recommend changing it to a duck, so I think a Great Duck would be a good call there. We'll have to go on the phone to CA about that. We do have Rahagra's Pride as well, Regiment of Renowned War Lions, who come with a badass colour scheme, as well as a really useful ability, which is the Mighty Roar, -8 leadership and 25 speed. Anything which lowers speed or pins stuff in place, like nets, tend to be pretty powerful. We also have a Mage of Metal, which is going to be on a horseback, as she needs to dart around the battlefield a little bit quicker. Book of Hoeth, as well as the staff, all that good stuff. More importantly, we have Searing Doom and Plague of Rust. And leading our mighty horde today, we have Imrik the Dragon Prince, who has forgotten his dragon for a really cool mount here. So he's actually kind of like Dragon Prince carrying a knight. And honestly, I think he looks even cooler here. I don't know about you guys, we'll maybe have to do a poll on that at some point. But he's going to come in the Star Lance, Dragon Horn, as well as Lord of Dragons, which is a super powerful hex I absolutely love. -40 melee attack and 20 more melee defense, which can be popped down on a character or a unit as well, which makes it so good, versatile, and pretty powerful. My opponent does have Pterodon Riders in the back, just the one unit to try and pressurize my Bolt Thrower. A couple of Chameleon Skinks up front who are incredibly pesky and annoying to deal with. And for his main battle line, he has Red Crested Skinks dotted all the way along, including the cohort of Sotek. Now, I don't hate this at all. I'd like to see some of the cheaper skinks mixed in as well to really try and pressure into the back line where possible, because I think the only really solid way High Elves have of dealing with the Lizardmen tends to be bow lines with Plague of Rust or Sister Avalon and other such avenues. So if you can pressurize them, you'll be in a good position. We have the Legion of Shaqua as well, protecting a triple dino threat, starting with the Littlest Brother on the left-hand side. We have a Feral Bastildon. Upgrading to the Middle Brother, we have the Thunderous One, the Regiment of Renowned Ancient Stegdon. I have raved about this unit for quite some time. Very powerful beastie indeed. And then the biggest bro of them all, Lord Mazdamundi on the mighty Zlak. He's going to be coming in with the Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Curse of Midnight Wind, as well as Net of Amantalk. Basically, how I bring Mazdamundi, I always bring Thunderous One and Mazdamundi, or quite often in this matchup. They do tremendous work at pushing into the back line and pressurizing the squishier units in the High Elf roster. So Chameleon Skinks have been made aware of me. They're going to be peppering down the Rangers. Not a bad target, as these guys don't have shields. We'll do a bit of counter-skirmishing, as our Elven forces do just chill for now. But the Rahagra's Pride are going to be dancing forward. Now, these guys do come in with missile resistance, like all White Line units. And they're very quick, so they're going to be bounding towards those Chameleon Skinks. I'm also tempted to kind of hop on top of some of the Red Crested and do a nice little bit of pressure fire off the rip. Eagle Bolt Thrower is going to focus down Lord Mazdamundi. That is where the value is going to be. And you can see some of those shots connecting right in his big old fat toad chest. Great Eagle simply flying around trying to make sure there's no other horrible surprises for me waiting in the deep. Rahagra's Pride do fall back a little bit at this moment, taking some damage from the Chameleon Skinks, but going to be falling back behind the Ranger and Spear wall. And the Spearmen have pushed forward to engage with the cohort of Sotek, who do pop Refuse to Die. And elsewhere, Red Crested Skinks are going to get in the charge off on me, a little bit bad micro on my behalf, although those spinning animations carving their way through the scaly skin should be able to trade relatively effectively here for the most part. And our micro was in the back here. Pterodon Riders come in, so we overcast the Tempest because that was basically one-shot them, particularly with a little bit of support as well from the archers, and all of a sudden that unit has been completely shattered. This mage is now useless, but she's done her job and can work as a bit of a battery. In the centre, an overcasted Plague of Rust has gone down, allowing all of our archers to rain fire down upon Lord Mazdamundi. And Imrik the Dragon Prince, though, goes in for a lance and charge into the flank of Zlak, and he's just been consumed there by the beastie. And this is a perfect target for Imrik, of course, does come with anti-large. Mazdamundi is suffering greatly. Lord of Dragons popped on him as well, making him even juicier. The Rahagra's Pride are going to be bouncing around, hunting down red-crested skinks, popping that mighty roar, securing this left-hand flank, which did get a little bit sketchy. Archers were under quite a considerable amount of pressure. Another Thunderous one has started pushing as well, but he needs to really go after these archers, dive in here and try and hunt down as many units as possible. And a good job though, the red-crested skinks wrapping around one flank, but the Great Eagle is there to try and assassinate and support. Mazdamundi, despite Shield of Shaqua going down, is getting just huge pepper, just pepper constantly from those arrows, plus the Eagle Bolt Thrower. He is really struggling. The White Lions do drive him from his home. Imrik as well is going to be darting after him before deciding to turn around and face the next dinosaur on his list, which is going to be the Thunderous one. And he charges through his own troops and clips the Thunderous one, who has been hit by a Plague of Rust. Once again, all the archers now will be raining fire down upon him. Luckily for me, we've managed to blob up quite a few of the remaining infantry units from my opponent, surround them with rangers. Cold Sotek Legion as well as the Ferrobastodon should do pretty good work here, but that's fine for me. As long as we can distract him and focus down the dinosaurs one after another, I am a happy ducky. Imrik, the Dragon Prince, going toe-to-toe with the beast. Looks like the rest of the troops are going to be falling back for now or fleeing for their lives. Plague Rust is still active. Overcast makes it last so disgustingly long, and you can see the archers still have decent ammunition left on them. It looks like we only have 2 units, though, left currently firing. The third one is running for the hills. Good work by my opponent there, getting the Thunderous one into the back line. In the distance, it looks like the red-crested skinks were attempting to save Lord Mazdamundi, so we do bring over the war lines to break them off, allow the Great Eagle just to focus down Maz, and escort him from the battlefield. Bolt Thrower as well, still trying to get a lick in or two. Chameleon skinks are returning to the field, and we've got some more red-crested skinks who can rally as well. We have some spearmen in the distance who basically their main job was to chase off chameleons and to absorb some of that damage, keeping them away from my more soft underbelly of this build, which of course is the archers. Looks like they should be able to drag down at the Thunderous one now. Imrik pinning him in place, and my opponent has managed to break through the front line. A lot of my units running in terror, but it's a little bit too little too late for them. And on the left-hand flank, the archers as well are being consumed by the red-crested. It's a sad sight every time you see a dino go down, but Imrik, he loves this sight. He's now going to be turning his eyes to the third dinosaur of the day. Lord of Dragons has been popped. The dragon horn has sounded in the deep one last time, but it looks like that Ferrobastodon decides instead to shatter off the battlefield. Just the cohort of Sotek remaining, so we are going to be taking all our troops coming in here for an assassination attempt. We can see Imrik is not too happy about fighting such foes who are below him, such meager troops. He wanted to be big damage dealers. We are going to come in with a Plague of Rust, even just chucking everything at these guys. And he does decapitate one with his mighty lance. I wish he loaded his lance a bit more. There we go. Does come with a nice little poke. And these red-crested skinks shall be going down amongst a mixture of lions, elite elvish warriors, and for once the High Elves shall scream victorious against the children of the Old Ones. A really fun game. I'm normally on the other side of this battle. I quite like bringing Lizardmen into High Elves, so it was a fun experiment going up against one of my subscribers actually, which is a opponent, a super nice guy, going up against them with the forces of the High Elves. With a pick victory, we did lose a considerable amount of troops. Nothing too crazy happened. We got some really good damage on some key units. Hope you guys enjoyed. Before we go through the damage value, if you did enjoy, feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content. It really helps to push the channel out in a good direction. And if you want to submit replays or get involved in tournaments I host and other events, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link down below, as well as a link to my Patreon, and you can become a YouTube channel member if you want to support the channel in any other way. And now for Poland and his build in general. I actually quite like the build. I'd cut some of the red-crested skinks, replace them with normal skinks, cut the Legion, add in like a unit of Saurus Warriors or so, and cut the Chameleons, add in a couple of Pterodon Riders, and then you have a really solid build, because these troops, they just need to get a little bit more aggressive. They initially tried to push in and get into the archer line, which is exactly what you should do, but then they got pinned in by Imrik, pinned in by some of the spearmen, and they didn't continue to use their mass to really shovel their way through, because the main threat in this build is those triple archers. They don't look like much, because they are quite cheap, but you shut down the archers, shut down the Eagle Bolt Throwers, these two units can indeed carry. As you can see, Mazdamundi really struggled, only 300 damage value, getting sniped out quite early on. Thunderous one doing a bit better, 1.3k, nearly 10,000 damage dealt, but again, he was fighting at the wrong units. Same with the Ferrobastodon, just more aggressive, more pushing, more kind of just dragging your way through using your mass. Apart from that, red-crested skinks didn't do too fantastic. They really struggled to get on top of the key targets and squishy targets, held up by rangers and stuff in the end anyway, and they're a little unlucky with the Pterodons. Chameleon skinks, though, did some nice pepper in the early days. As for my own forces, it was a pretty fun build. Imrik came in 1.4k damage value. Now he's far cheaper on his horse. Still very expensive, but I think actually on his horse may be where he is most competitive. I do want to trial him on foot as well. But he did a good job just hunting down the beasties, and of course on horseback he can then catch up with the dinosaur, so it's pretty hard and annoying and a little bit hard to shake off if you are a Lizardman. As for the mages, of course, coming in just doing their basic stuff, it's really about the spells more than damage value, and the spearmen didn't do too much work. The rangers kind of faring a little bit better, but my infantry corps didn't really punch too hard. It was, of course, all about the archers. 1k damage value, 1k damage value, 800 damage value. Very impressive performance, and they are disgustingly cheap, but of course, combined with the Plague of Rust, means they can drag down those larger beasties. Great Eagle did fine as well, or the Great Duck. 400 damage value, but still pretty much full health, so had plenty left in the tank. Rahagra's Pride as well, getting 99 kills, although the value doesn't maybe kind of reflect their importance of the battlefield. And the Eclaw Bolt Thrower gaining a Chevron, 1,500 damage value, 4k damage dealt. But a really fun game, very well played too for Poland. Hope to face him again soon. Until next time, guys, peace, and as always, stay awesome.